All right, welcome in, you guys. Welcome in. I want to access the ancestors today for this collective. If this is your reading, you were drawn here by the title. Okay, and I want to access the ancestors today for some information about this Mars opposition Pluto and how it might play out for those watching. If this reading, whatever reading comes through here, resonates for you, this is for you. All right, I will do an extended. I'll talk more about Mars opposition Pluto as we go. So let's see what wants to come through. I just saw the transformation card, which is the death card. Okay, so Mars opposition Pluto is a very dynamic, powerful energy. Let's see what the reading has to say. Wow, soulmate busting through right away. Truth. I think earlier this week I did a reading that had to do with truth seekers, safe travel, and transmute. So there's definitely some major truth seekers coming out as I'm talking about this reading in terms of it's almost like somebody has a truth they absolutely believe to their core that is not true. And it has to do with love. It really has to do with the self-worth and all of that. And I feel like this was a seed planted long ago that kind of needs to be completely transmuted into the light. There's such an energy here that this truth like guided your life, guided everything you did. And what if that's not true? What if it's not true? Let's see where we're going here. I feel like if you're doing any travel right now, that card's coming out for me a lot because we're going to be going to Sedona and doing a retreat. So I see that truth seeker energy in the travel very strongly for me. 2 of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles, King of Cups, 5 of Wands, and the Hierophant. Now that's May energy. This is just a lot of really stagnant energy here, okay? King of Cups is one of the kings that's very uncomfortable, okay? It's a king energy in a feminine element. 7 of Pentacles, 2 of Pentacles, 5 of Wands. There's a lot of conflict going on underneath here. It's likely because that truth is really not a truth. There's an alignment issue here, right? If I believe that, let's see, if I believe that this is a duck, you could tell me all day long that this is not a duck, this is a phone, Mary Jo. I believe it's a duck. And so I'm going to be like, why isn't it quacking? Well, you can make it quack, can't you? Yes, you can. Can't make it eat, but you can make it quack. You can make it eat batteries, that's for sure. But you can make it quack. Like, how is that not a duck? How is that not a duck? If I have never seen a duck and I think this is a duck, it's going to be very hard for you to like pull me off of that. Now, if you believe that that's a duck, you believe that this thing right here is a duck. It has always been a duck to you. That's what it is. And you're like, that's ridiculous. That's a duck. What if I were to tell you it's a phone? And you'd be like, whoa, that's crazy. There's definitely something here about that, about an experience that kind of blows your mind. Okay. 10 of Cups, Page of Wands, the Queen of Swords. Look at that. 10 of Swords, Hermit, 3 of Cups, the Sun, the Hanged Man, Ace of Swords, Truth. Again, truth is coming out. So there's definitely something that you believe. You got this wrong idea in your head. There's definitely something that you believe is the truth that is not the truth. Now, this Hierophant is the energy of traditional religion or traditional belief systems, let's just say. Forget about religion. traditional belief systems. And the hermit here in the center is about non-traditional, right? This is much more about your direct line to spirit, your direct line to God. I feel like some of you have some kind of traditional belief that we all kind of are struggling with right now. There's a lot of struggle going on here. 2 of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles, 5 of Wands, the King of Cups, like uncomfortable energy. All right, so there's definitely some misalignment here. Now, on a personal level, I feel like some of you might be with a person that you are definitely not supposed to be with, for reasons that could be, each couple has their own reasons. But I'm talking to the group of you who are in relationships that it's definitely not aligned, and you know it. Okay, it's definitely not aligned, and you know it. I think I don't forget. I've been doing a lot of readings this week, so I kind of forget when I, talk about certain things. But this makes me feel like it's no big deal until it is. Some of you could be out of alignment with a person or a path, and it becomes a problem when the real deal comes into view. Okay, 10 of Cups, Queen of Swords. There's this sense of excitement, a sense of passion, right? Like, I've been doing this job. Let's say I'm working for the town, or I handle a certain kind of clients, right? Whatever it is. No shame in that game. Like all these like different kind of things that people do. But then you come across like the great love of your life, right? Like writing is the great love of your life, or art, or math, or whatever it is. It's just undeniable. And you may have seen flickers of it. I definitely believe you've seen flickers of it. And you may have even been in conflict about wanting to pursue something that somebody in your life told you was impossible for you. Nope. That's not who you are, young man. I have a friend from high school, more like an acquaintance. Like I don't really know her all that well, but I see her on Facebook, talking about their kids and everything like that. And this one woman I thought was such a great example of this. Her son, great kid, really just, smile ear to ear, just an awesome, happy guy. And he was just adamant that he did not want to go to college. He's like, Mom, that's not for me. And she said, just humor me, go for 6 months, go for a semester, we'll pay for it. Don't get into debt. We'll pay for it. Just see what it's like. She wanted him to have the social life and all this other stuff. And he went, and he was just like, yeah, you know what? It's just not for me. And instead of really, I'm sure that there was a lot more going on than what she showed on Facebook, but she said, okay. And he wanted to go and do this other thing, that he wanted to be a stuntman. And he was just like, that's just who I am. That's what I want to do. She was like, have at it. There's a stuntman school in California. Go for it. He's awesome. He is in love with that. And I give her a lot of credit, because I bet she took a lot of pressure about that. But she really, I was so in awe of that, and just so respectful of that, because she listened to her kid. And I feel like that's where we're going. I feel like we're going to go to a place where, well, this is something that I really want to do. And, maybe when I'm 40, I don't want to do it. But now when I'm 25, I want to do it. And then, okay, maybe I go back and learn something else, and then do something else, and do something else, and do something else. Like, I really feel like the structure, all the institutions and structures we have are really changing and really shifting in such a big way that I feel like all of these old structures, these old kind of swim lanes that we've had, people are becoming more and more in tune with who they are, their truth. I don't care what age you are. Okay. Some people have always been that way. There's plenty of people I know that are like, nope, this is what my parents wanted me to do. Nope, this is what my family does. Nope, this is what I'm supposed to do. Blah, blah, blah. Now, I'm here to tell you, I've witnessed this from a lot of different people in my life. These kind of experiences of, do I follow my heart? I don't trust myself. I don't know. Where's this going to lead? What if I fail? All of these things. And I just feel like we're coming back to a place where we're going to be allowed to surrender to our truth again. Okay. I feel like we are in a situation of very high stakes poker right now. That you better be successful or it's going to destroy you. And what is success? We don't really, we define it a lot by money, but very rarely do we define it by happiness and fulfillment. And I do feel like we're going in that direction, that we are going to be more respectful of people who align with their spiritual happiness, their fulfillment, their soul's mission and purpose. Because I feel like we are also going to get out of this mindset or this lie that we've been telling ourselves that these are the only swim lanes possible. And I feel like we're going to be moving on from that. And, we are here at the time of finding teachers or finding guides, to help us open ourselves up to our inner truth. And I really feel like we're done with this kind of like, I'm going to do something just because it makes money, or I'm going to do something, and I'm miserable. I'm going to marry the person my family wants me to marry, and I'll be miserable, and I will never make another decision because I think that will say to me, oh, well, you made the wrong decision back then. But like, actually, every decision you make brings you through a story, brings you through a timeline, brings you through opportunities. You're here to align with your mission and purpose. You're here to attract across your path the things that makes that possible. I feel like a lot of you are stepping into this truth of who you are, and it can come during travel, right? Like I said, we're going to be doing our retreat in Sedona this weekend and going into next week. And it makes me feel so happy to have so many people join us and really want to be fully immersive in an experience of listening to their guides. And all you have to do is ask for guidance and be willing to listen. Be willing to listen. And then what? What if you hear a truth? And this could be different for each one of you. So I'm not going to say what's the truth, because each one of you might have a different truth that you're going to be listening to. But it is the truth of your soul, not the truth of what someone else told you. 8 of Wands, 7 of Swords, 4 of Pentacles, Temperance. Archangel Michael is instrumental in this. I almost feel like working with ascended masters or working with the archangels is going to help you really interpret what comes through. We're going to be talking about clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience, claircognizance. We'll be talking about how to work with information that comes through dreams, all of these things. And I feel like sometimes when we realize that we believed a lie, or that there's sort of a lie at the heart of every decision I've made because I've not really seen my soul's truth, we can kind of shut down. Because, I mean, this is appropriate. We're saying this in Taurus time. And Taurus can be one of the shadow aspects of Taurus, and Taurus is right here, is about safety and security. And so we can attribute, or we can define safety and security as having no change. Some people do. They define safety and security as a steady state, as everything is, I want things to be the way they are all the time. And I have a fair amount of Taurus, in my family, and I can see that there's a real fear about growing into your truth or your soul's mission and purpose, because that will mean you were wrong before. And I always object to that. I'm always like, how come that can't just be part of the process? Why can't that original question or that original decision to go to this school or that school, to travel this path or that path, even if you don't wind up there, why can't that just be like the first step? Why does it have to be, why do you have to like jump right to the thing that is the right answer? Because you're going to miss a whole bunch of truth in the middle. So I feel like some of you are really going to expand very quickly. Now, this, I also feel we have Uranus and Taurus, more Taurus energy. Well, we are in Taurus time, so it's fine for me to talk about this. Uranus and Taurus is going to move. Uranus is going to move into Gemini this summer, and I believe July 7th. And there is going to be, at the very end degree of Taurus, I feel like there will be some kind of earthquake or volcano or something. This is a volcano. And it's like, it's also the same for us. Like the truth is just going to come out of us. This kind of expansion, expression, this kind of beautiful, creative upsurge in, you know, the desire to want to write a book, the desire to like, all of a sudden I'm just, I'm just writing this book. All of a sudden I'm expanding into my joy. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. It's because you're aligning with your own truth. Now, 6 months from now, you may not want to write a book, but it was still on your path. And I feel like a lot more people are going to be waking up between now and Virgo time, and they're going to recognize their mission and purpose with that 10 of Cups there. They're going to recognize their truth. Some of you may have to get out of your house. And I, listen, I am like a closet introvert. For as much as extroverted as people think I am, most outgoing in my senior class, blah, blah, blah. I am like loving introverted life. I love, and maybe this is my part of my spiritual path as a hermit, or at least hermiting as a function of me being better at hearing my inner voice and my inner truth, and being able to hear that, being able to go in that direction, being able to know what is for you and what is not for you. I feel like a lot of times we just really need to get out of our house, get away from our familiar surroundings to see things differently. See yourself differently. Okay. I mean, I always laugh because here I am, and you pretty much see kind of what I wear. Like, I'm not making this is not a costume. This is actually wow, what a costume, Mary Jo. But like going away, I'll be packing all these other clothes and 25 different tops and everything. And I'm like, listen, you wear white tops and hoodies and sweaters with V-necks. Like when you go away, I become a different person, right? I want to have like a dress. I want to have fancy shoes. I want to, and I don't do that at home. I got my Birks and I've got my Uggs but when you go away, it's some kind of like fantasy you comes out of you, or the real you comes out of you. So there is something about getting out of your regular routine that even in Taurus time, especially in Taurus time, I feel like is going to be really important in order for you to be able to reveal this truth to yourself, or to see your own truth, to be able to do that. Okay. Why is the 10 of Swords here? I almost feel like you're ending your relationship with you, or somebody, there's the Sun again, the Eight of Cups, the Three of Wands, and the Two of Pentacles. Some of you have been sitting on the fence for a long time. I almost feel like some of you, because you're aligning so much with your inner truth, the person that you want to meet is now able to find you. They weren't able to find you under all of those layers of, somebody else's ideas or somebody else's costume. Okay. They weren't able to see you. And so it's like you're shining through with this Sun card. You're shining through. You're leaving behind the you created. And I feel like this message from the ancestors is like, it's really time to leave behind the you created for a society that is no longer is sort of coming apart at the seams. Like the society is not going to validate these things anymore. So why do it? If that's the reason you've been doing something to be validated by a society, now society, because of the age of Aquarius, society is going to value your truth more than ever before. Being in alignment is going to be the right answer. So you're going to have to know what that is. You don't have a template anymore. There's no template. So Queen of Swords is here to tell us that our voice is true and real and necessary. Four of Cups, 10 of Cups, Chariot, World. So I love the 10 of Cups here. Oh, that took my breath away. I love the 10 of Cups here. And this feels almost like some of you or a lot of people on the planet are waking up to what I'm saying. That they no longer have to stay in their unhappiness, their inauthentic unhappiness. They no longer have to do that. And some of you may find your authenticity by getting out of the thing you've created around you, your house and your, the decorations you have in your house. What is that about? You can't outgrow a cage. You're still trying to decorate. All right. So let's keep moving. I'm going to get some Gaia cards for you, get some guidance. Let's see what we don't see coming, because this does feel like a kind of busting out energy, which I really like, and aligning ourselves with our true authenticity. Thank you, ancestors. So let's keep going. If this is your message, there's a link below if you want to continue on. See you over there. All right. I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.